Hello, Cecil County and the world. It's December 8th. Cecil TV, Rob Chirnside here. It's one day after Pearl Harbor Day, and we're 17 days away from Christmas, so get your Christmas shopping done. And we might have a CD that you might be able to get that we're going to tell you about, because tonight in the studio, Christopher Dean, my good buddy.
Hey, Bob.
Shared the stage with you a few times, and you're back at with a new album. This
Yep.
is number 8 or number 9?
8. Since 2000.
So, we were talking earlier, Chris, and how would you describe your musical sound?
It's definitely based in the blues. And, I know that's not a sexy word these days, but everything I do is based in, early American blues. And and that goes all through, then that branches off into other areas that I cover, like folk, R&B, jazz, country. So everything. But I like to be known, as a bluesman. That's what I do.
Yeah, and you're good at it. I know you, and you do everything from Roy Orbison to Elvis and all kinds of cool stuff.
That's the
R&B.
fun stuff. That's that's the stuff people. Yeah, I said this before. I look at the crowd and I kind of gauge with. But I love playing. I love playing music.
Right.
But I prefer playing blues. But it's like I know everybody else doesn't want to hear that.
Well, the blues, it was hot back in the 80s, and then it went down, and it came back, and it goes back down. It's always there.
Yeah. I look at the, I was telling somebody else this, is that musicians from the 60s and 70s used to brag about their influences. They used to make up their influences just to sound cool. They would say, I'm influenced by Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf, but even if they weren't, they would say that.
Right.
So people would think they're more legit. But now, these days, it's like anything else with history. It's brushed under the rug these days.
So you have a lot of influences, especially the blues, and you have a new CD out, a lot of covers on there, but you also do some of your own originals, not only here, but the other CDs as well, right?
Yes.
And the song you're going to be doing tonight is...
Thank you for letting me know, which is a sarcastic tone.
I can only imagine, and we're looking forward to hearing it.
It's funny. I read an AI review online, and they totally. This is a great example of how AI shouldn't be reviewing CDs.
Right.
Because they didn't get the irony of it. They didn't get it that it's supposed to be sarcastic. AI doesn't read sarcasm, I don't think.
Kind of like Sheldon Cooper on The Big Bang Theory. She had to hold up a sign that said, sarcasm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, AI needs a little work. So we're looking forward to that, and you've written a lot of songs. I know you play all over the place. You played down, speaking of the blues, you played down Mississippi, right?
Ground Zero, Morgan Freeman's club.
You travel a lot during the course of a year?
Yeah, compared to most people, but it's mostly. I always tell people I'm like Dunkin' Donuts on the East Coast, from Maine down to the Keys in Florida, Fort Lauderdale, some North Florida. In October, we did the Camping with the Blues Festival, and I think that was near Tampa on the West Coast. So, yeah, pretty much on the East Coast. I do get out west a little bit.
That's cool. And you like that?
I like traveling. I always have a thing is that, I never want to wear myself out in one area. So every gig to me is like an audition in my head. So after a gig, I'm like, usually if it goes well, I'm relieved. But I don't want to get burned out in one area.
Right.
It's like So, and it keeps everything fresh too. You're like, well, I haven't been here in a while, so I better bring it tonight.
Right. And you got to bring it. Every time I seen you, you were bringing it. That's good.
I
And
try.
speaking of bringing it, you're playing this weekend, Saturday night at McGregor's?
Saturday night in McGregor's, and I'll also be at McGregor's in Havre de Grace on New Year's Eve with the full band.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Be nice to be close to home, too.
Amen. And your home is in Havre de Grace.
Mm-hmm.
And you've lived here for how many years?
5 years.
Where were you before that?
Pennsylvania, I was in Lehigh Valley for about, off and on for about 10 years, and then Jersey before that, in case if you couldn't tell.
Any uniqueness in the local music scene vis-a-vis those other places?
You know, every area has their own feel. You know, the great thing about Jersey is that it's so business oriented. They literally do not care about music. It's the toughest crowd, and I've played all over the world with the bands that I was playing with. The guy I used to play with, Big Jack Johnson from Clarksdale, Mississippi. He was like a blues legend. Even in Jersey, you know, they're not mean. They'll say, yo, you sound great after you're done, but it's a tough crowd. Lehigh Valley was a little bit different. There's a lot of musicians, but it's like anything else. When you have a lot of something, the value goes down.
Sure.
So you get caught up in this competition thing, and the gigs don't really pay all that much. So it becomes like a 20-mile radius. It becomes like a America's Got Talent or American Idol contest.
Right.
And that's where the competition is driven. In Maryland, it's a little bit different. The musicians have been very nice. You know, they don't seem to have that edge. So they're very welcoming. And the people around Havre de Grace were very nice to me, very receptive. That's why I moved there, because I started playing there. And it's like a Hallmark town,
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I tell people, it's like, I lived all over the place, but I feel most at home in Havre de Grace. It's very accepting. I like it.
It is a great little town. And it's just spitting distance right across the bridge from Cecil County.
Yes.
So you play Cecil County at all?
A little bit. Cecil County, honestly, what I picked up on is that the country rock thing is big. Not the old country, not even stuff from the 90s like Dwight Yoakam or Vince Gill. You know, like this Dierks Bentley, who's the other guy? The kids are always asking for.
The newer country.
Tyler Childs.
Yeah.
I don't know what a Tyler Childs is. I probably heard him on the radio, but it's, you know, I'm not going to do that. I'll give you Dwight Yoakam. I'll give you Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
But that stuff, you know, I really noticed it lately. And I have an agent that books me, and he even asked me if I do country. And, you know, I can do it, but, you know, it's like looking, I don't think people would take me seriously anyway. It's like looking at Frank Sinatra and asking him to do country, or Frankie. Right. People want to buy it.
I know your last CD had that Frank Sinatra look with the jacket on over your shoulder and stuff like that.
You know, my father was a singer in Jersey in the 40s. He had a radio program on WSOU in Secaucus. And he was like a Sinatra type of guy.
Yeah.
And they were signing all kinds of, if you looked the part of a crooner, they were, like, my dad was better looking than Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, but he looked like Dean Martin. But he didn't want to travel, my father.
Right.
You know, so I tell people this, every morning that my father would be going anywhere, he'd get up, he would shave, he'd dress nice, and it was just something that he did. So I think I'm cut from that cloth.
Yeah.
You know? So if I have something about, you know, just trying to look presentable. But some of these kids, they look, you know, girls like them. They wear the T-shirt. They don't shave. If I went for that, I'd look like a bum.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Do is play to your strengths. I think it's a good thing for you. And is there anything we're missing, Chris? I know this is a good album. Anything you want to talk about the production of it, or? Well,
the studio was Pimpin' Beats, which was a new studio for me. So there's a definite hip hop influence in there. They do mostly hip hop at that studio. So all the live musicians had to lay their parts in Pennsylvania. But I had this guy, Bino, help produce it. He was a younger guy. And he taught me a bunch of stuff about how people are producing these days. And so he co-produced it.
Cool.
So I was very happy with the production on this. And yeah, it's to me, you know, it's very smooth, and it's my absolute best. So it got really good reviews when we put it out. It came out April 25th, and so critically, it did well. Trying to sell albums these days is, it's a good coaster.
Yeah, I love the picture here. You don't know if you can see it. Still have that turquoise guitar, right? You have a turquoise guitar.
Seafoam green.
Huh?
Seafoam green, they call it.
Yeah, I like that. Anyway, we look forward to hearing this track number 12 and seeing you at McGregor's Saturday night.
Yep.
And New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. Thanks for coming to the studio, Chris.
Thanks, Bob.